Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am buzzing that it is February because that means two very important things. Number one, it is my birthday month, and number two, it's car reveal month. So we're now coming up to the return of Formula One in March, at the end of March, and throughout February the teams are going to be unveiling the cars that we'll be seeing on track for the duration of the 2022 season. And as we know, there have been a bunch of regulation changes which are also going to impact the appearances of the car. So if you want to find out more about that, check out my video about the F1 regulation changes for 2022. It'll be up here somewhere for you. Quick PSA before I get into the actual topic of today's driver deep dive video. As you might know by now, the series is viewer driven, so if you want me to chat about a particular driver or drivers, all you need to do is pop a comment down below this video and voila, that is what the next video in this series will be about. So make sure to leave a comment down below once you finish watching this one, and while you're there, just hit that little subscribe button. Okay, today we are talking about Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon. And if you've been watching Formula One over the past couple of years, you will know that these two have a sort of strange experience in common with each other, in that they both started off on Red Bull's sister team, previously known as Toro Rosso, now of course known as AlphaTauri, and both of them got the opportunity to jump up to the kind of big dogs in the main Red Bull team during the season and see if they could like duke it out with Max Verstappen. Now, unfortunately, they both failed in that attempt. I don't blame them entirely. I think they weren't necessarily given the support and the tools that they needed to succeed in what they were being thrown into. Maybe they also weren't ready at that time or just couldn't like deal with the chaos of the scenario. I don't know, but it led to some pretty awkward viewing in season 2 of Drive to Survive in particular, where they covered Pierre Gasly's experience with Red Bull in quite a lot of detail, and I don't know about you, I found it super uncomfortable to watch. You know, Pierre being essentially accosted over the radio, being told to push and just not producing, so it was quite awkward, to be honest. And he ended up going back to the AlphaTauri team, the sister team of Red Bull, and in season 3 he was reflecting on that experience, and at the same time it was happening again to Alex Albon. So he had jumped into the seat to partner with Max Verstappen and unfortunately also was not able to cut it up there. And it's a, like I say, a very strange experience for them both to have shared. At least Pierre stayed in Formula One. Unfortunately, Alex did lose his seat in Formula One and was not picked up by another team after the issues with Red Bull, so he spent the 2021 season actually racing in DTM, but he is now back of course with Williams. So I thought it'd be interesting to put these two together and, you know, let's put the Red Bull drama aside and just find out a bit more about them as individuals. Okay, let's get into it first. Pierre Gasly. So he is quite active on social media, particularly on Instagram, and even aside from just Formula One content, he's quite active. So you'll definitely see him posting photos from, you know, shoots that he has done with AlphaTauri. They sort of rebranded essentially from Toro Rosso to AlphaTauri, largely to do with the fashion side of the brand, and he's definitely leaned into that, which why wouldn't you? It makes a lot of sense. And he's also a fan of other sports outside of just F1. He was recently posted about being at Supercross, and he's also a fan of the French club Paris Saint-Germain as far as football goes, so he's stayed patriotic in terms of who he's supporting there. And he has actually posted a couple of pics from being at their games, meeting people like Kylian Mbappe and Antoine Griezmann, so he is a genuine fan. He does show up for the games. Interestingly, Pierre did not hang around when it came to getting on board with NFTs, and he was actually the first Formula One driver to launch an NFT, and he did that back in October of last year. And he did it in partnership with the Phantom Foundation, and he actually managed to sell 350 NFTs in the space of 15 minutes, which is pretty impressive, and he actually, the two sort of highest bids for two of the items were almost $60,000 each, so we're talking like a fair sizable chunk of money here. And it's just kind of cool to see him being, you know, obviously a very business savvy guy. He's kind of plugged into the AlphaTauri brand, he's got his own brand partnerships, he's got the NFT thing. It's definitely very business savvy, and it's cool to see that, and him kind of, you know, branching out and getting interested in other things potentially for when his F1 career is over. I always think that makes a lot of sense when I see drivers diversifying their portfolio, if you will. And a couple of the items that he sold were, you know, VIP experiences with him, signed helmets that he had worn. For example, there was a helmet that he had worn in Baku and things like that, and obviously merch and bits and pieces like that as well. He is a fan as well of a holiday pick, so I'll tell you something for nothing, these Formula 1 drivers know how to relax in luxury, they really do, and you'll see that from Pierre's Instagram as well. If it's not, you know, a sun beach holiday, it's a ski trip, and I mean, look, who would blame them? I would do the same were I in their position. Alex is a bit more low-key than Pierre, and sort of as a result of that, he doesn't quite post as much on his socials. But I will say, when I was having a look at his Instagram profile in particular, he really has stepped it up in the last couple of weeks, particularly obviously in the run-up to him returning to Formula 1. It looks like he's decided to pick LA as the location for his sort of pre-season training camp, if you will. And again, why wouldn't you pick somewhere that you can just have awesome fun downtime when you're not working out? So lots of workout videos on his page at the moment, and it looks like he's, you know, definitely very much fully focused, and I would imagine also feeling like maybe wants to prove a point. I don't know how much he's going to be able to perform in terms of this new Williams car that they've put together for this season with the regulation changes, but he certainly looks hungry. We've spoken about golf many times at this point in this series, and the ever increasing number of Formula 1 drivers who are just getting super into golf. Alex is no exception, but he does have a better reason possibly than all the others, because he is actually dating an LPGA player. So we've got an actual connection here, to a very strong connection to the golf world outside of motorsport. And in terms of other sports, he obviously, you know, had DTM for a year in 2021. It seemed like he wasn't super keen on that. I can imagine going from a single-seater F1 car to a GT car it's going to feel pretty clunky and sort of hard to get used to. It's not that he didn't have any success, but I don't think it was his favourite. He interestingly also did a little bit of testing in IndyCar, and he sort of alluded to the fact that if he hadn't got a seat in F1 for the 2022 season, he probably would have pursued that. Obviously, because he got the seat with Williams, that sort of never went anywhere. But again, we just don't know how that Williams is going to perform, and given what happened to him when he moved up to Red Bull, let's see if he ends up sticking around in Formula 1, or if something like IndyCar becomes something of a bigger interest for him. Thank you so much as always for tuning in. That is all I have for you in this week's driver deep dive video. If you want to find more of these videos, you can check out the playlist, which I will have for you up here. And until next time, take care.